Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Shirley with Spirit of Matter. And this is an episode dedicated to answering a question by Cindy Shen Designs. I'm going to put her picture in the caption so you'll know what the channel is and where to watch. And she's been doing avant-garde makeup. As you can see, I'm complete polarity of her because I have no makeup on my face. And she is constantly bombarding her face with wonderful, wonderful makeup. I really love to watch her channel because this is really art. She's taken makeup to an art form and creating wonderful, wonderful things. I encourage you also to support her channel. And she asked, when it comes to maintaining success or maintaining something that we do, how do we preserve the passion a long time? And if we are interested in various projects, how do we maintain the passion? And how do we go about these things? And I find this such a compatible question for astrology and astrologers because we have the solution. Okay? And in astrology, we have a lot of cycles. We have eclipse cycles, we have lunar cycles, we have return of outer planets, we have dashas or perfected years. And all of those cycles, they tell us what is the top focus in our life at this time. It's what we naturally gravitate into. And so we are less afraid to, let's say you started, makeup project, okay? And now you're less excited about this, you want to, play piano. So you might want to be aware of the transit that is taking place, because at the end of the day, you might do a makeup video to the music of you playing piano, okay? And astrology can tell you what your interest is when you pay attention. When was that interest? And there are cycles where you're going to integrate that interest, okay? And so when it comes to how do I maintain different projects, then good astrological elections can give you for time to start and for time to integrate. For example, right now we're in 2024. The eclipse cycle that was in 2017 is very associated with the eclipse cycle that we had in 2024, and it's a 1-year shade period. And so it's actually in 2017 that I was asking Cindy your question myself, okay? How do I learn my passion patterns and preserve passion and succeed happy? And so I would be more and more attracted to astrology, where I would learn about these cycles, and it actually allowed me to do the relevant things to my success. And now I'm going over the very same topics and have a completion cycle around them. So this is just one cycle of eclipse cycle. That eclipse is connected with this eclipse, and this is how things come to either a full circle, or we have a continuing on the chapter. So whether it came to things I dealt with, like the Me Too, that now became like, abolishing sex, espionage, and MK Ultra, or like how to succeed, or how to combine different topics that I enjoy, and the cycles of astrology. And so this is a good thing for when you have situations where I was also, it's not like anybody told me anything, but I was the type of person, if I started something, then I was afraid to not finish it. And with astrology, we have the times where we let go and then we come back to it. If I think about Uranus and Taurus, I began to grow crops, I began to grow something, and then I began to grow it outside, and then I had problem with the water. So I learned about the half moons and digged it in the soil. And then I began to do that in cities. Okay, and so that is kind of like it, to stop and then continue, a stop and then continue. And in the meantime, okay, I did social media. I tended to cancellation. I tended to many other things, political assassination, like many other things that are all in my chart. But the transit, they pinpoint. Even if I talk about all the sciencey stuff that I begin to talk about in this podcast right now, so the wealth of my knowledge accumulates so that I can share it with people. What is the upright science rather than the inverted? So all these things are basically stuff you could see with the astrology, and can begin to be less afraid because you already begin to identify cycles. When will that interest pick up? or when will that be able to be, okay, combined? We also working on, if I talked about my Uranus Better Per Se talisman, on abolishing all this MK Ultra, and I see a lot of makeup artists channels being targeted with mind control or being cancelled, and this is why if you watch this channel, I recommend to go to Cindy's channel and to support this channel just by watching the videos. She gets a more watch time, to begin to go up and be interested in the YouTube algorithm, to begin to think about social media that's supportive. If a person does 8 hours of makeup video and you see a short of 30 seconds, then we might want to rethink of those things, because this is watching a work of art, this museum level, basically for free, and we have the models to budget it and to bring it to the common people, but we also want to support the artists and the creators. And so Cindy is doing makeup stories, so avant-garde makeup, and she's telling fascinating stories. And I recommend you to hop over to her channel. And for those of you who are dealing with Cindy's question, how do I know when to stop something I'm not interested in? Then first of all, being acquainted with your passion is important. It's not always about pushing through when you're not passionate, because your patterns of passion, they recombine and they create this beautiful avant-garde art. What is avant-garde? It's the combination of styles being brought together from various times in history, okay, and the work of art created from them, and allowing, trusting the process that thing does occur. So we don't want to lose passion when we are creative, okay? And you're going to know, because if you start something, whether it's to fix your house or to start creative project, and you begin a little bit difficult, but then it gets easier, you should continue. If you begin, it's a little bit difficult, and then you continue, it's more difficult, it's time to let go. It is actually Asian traditions that teach us not to force things. So I'm not going to give up doing that, but I'm going to be more tender with myself. And if, let's say, you do your business and you feel not motivated, then you can withdraw it back, because maybe right now somebody is dealing with the MK Ultra, with the currency change, with all these things that if you pushed through right now, you would be exhausted to deal with. But there would be a window of opportunity for you to implement all those things, and you're going to feel it. Your intuition is going to feel that this is time. So it's non-linear, and you get to reconnect it with yourself. And it's actually something we also learn from Asian traditions, that we don't force things, but we don't stop things either. Just not forcing things, but you can withdraw attention, but keep that in mind, tend to it. This is what I say, tend to it. And then that is slowly accumulating to a success that you are actually enjoying both the road and the achievement, and it also stands the test of time and is relevant from various times, and that can be shown by astrology, but can also be tuned to your passions and trust in your intuition, trust in the process, because you will discover stuff. Okay, for example, when it was no time for me to make my business grow, the efforts weren't compiling, but now I understand, because I'm tending to the MK Ultra, to the currency changes based on that, to the mind control, to all these things that happen to small businesses, whether it's makeup businesses, astrology businesses, and to the cancellation that happens to these artists. Okay, because if you don't comply with the mind control, and I saw Cindy's channel is not complying with all this called symbolism. Okay, so she would not show up in my feed. Why? Okay, because she's not doing mind control. No, then the veil will be lifted, and but these channels will be protected, so we can have a growing economy that is based on genuine joy and a genuine creativity. So hop onto Cindy's channel, and just by watching it, you can support, or you can give donation, or look at other of the endeavors that she's doing that you may find interesting. And thank you for watching.